What is up, everyone? I'm here with my friend Steve from the YouTube channel Rake and Profit, and he is here because he has done over $30,000 in the past month flipping random, sometimes weird items from eBay onto Amazon, all from home. About 90% of what he's doing is fully automated and outsourced. So when he told me about this, I wanted to get him on the channel for him to show you guys how he is doing this and to answer some questions that I have and I know that you guys have about how this works. So Steve, what is up, man? Thanks for being here.
Hey, appreciate you having me, man. And I'm excited that you're as excited about this as I am, man, because I've been trying to get you into reselling for the longest time. You're like, I don't want to go to thrift stores and garage sales and auctions and flea markets. And when we finally got a chance to catch up, and I told you that I was doing this right from home, similar to drop shipping, man, your eyes opened up.
Yeah, there's a lot that kind of aligns between what you're doing and drop shipping. So it's just like kind of like a no-brainer. If you like drop shipping, this is actually very similar, right? So I'm kind of eager to hear more about it.
Absolutely, man. So, for the folks who don't know who I am, my name's Steve Rakin, Rakin Profit on YouTube, and I've been reselling from thrift stores, garage sales, auctions, all different types of places, mostly traveling around just buying items low and selling them high. And it's a great way to make money, but the downside of it is you've got to go out there and hustle like crazy, right? And I know nobody who's watching this is scared to work hard, but I don't know. There's a difference between like working hard, like on your computer in the comfort of your home with a bottle of wine or whatever, right? Versus having to go out there and fight traffic. And about a year ago, I got into a really bad car accident. I'm literally lucky to be here. I feel like if that accident happened 10 times, like I would be gone like 9 out of 10 times. It was crazy. I was on the highway. It was nighttime. I think it was Friday night about a year ago. And I drive a Toyota Tacoma. So it's a pretty strong, sturdy vehicle, right? If I was in a Prius, be a different story. But I got hit by one of those gigantic commercial vehicles from behind and they just slammed into me at like 80 or 85. Like they smashed into me, bounced off, hit a bunch of cars, like even hit a car with some kids in it. I mean, it was crazy. And they hit me directly from behind. And I'm so glad I didn't lose control. They like literally destroyed my vehicle. And since then, like I started to deal with like anxiety and depression on the road. I don't know who here has ever been in like a really serious accident where you're like, wow, I'm lucky to be alive. Seriously. It's different than like seeing it on like YouTube or in the movies. Like when that happens to you, you're like, life is so valuable. Like when you're in a car, you're just like in a death machine. And like ever since then, like I was so scared to drive, and every time I'd go through an intersection or someone would be behind me, and it started to really hurt my business because I didn't want to drive everywhere. And long story short, I had to figure out a way to be able to source inventory without having to depend on leaving and traveling all across the state. Because you know me, man, you've seen all my videos. I've crossed the country traveling and thrifting, and yeah, I after lots of trial and error and experimenting with different methods, I learned what I'm calling the eBay to Amazon method. It's essentially buying physical products from home without leaving your house. All types of weird items that I'll share some with you. You'll probably be surprised with, but yeah, I source from my house. I actually have two virtual assistants who source between 800 to 1,000 items every month for me. I don't source a single item anymore. It shows up at my house. I have someone who helps me prep it, list it, ship it, send it out to Amazon, and I'm literally only spending 3 to 5 hours a week. Now, there was a lot of work that went into that, right? Obviously, for someone who's starting, it's going to take more time than that. That was a year's worth of work and virtual assistants. You know, it is similar with drop shipping. When you start, it's a lot more work in the beginning until you automate the process and you learn how to source and you learn about all the softwares and whatnot. But yeah, I've grown my business this year from 5,000 a month when I was just thrifting and doing all that to now I just hit 31,000 in sales. My profit margin's about 30%. And it's pretty exciting, man. And that's why I had to tell you about it because I know I've tried to convince you to do what I do in the past. You're like, man, come on, man. I'm making money behind my computer. I ain't leaving
Yeah, no,
that.
that's so true. And I was also a little scared of Amazon because I had drop shipped on Amazon in the past, which was all merchant fulfilled. We'll talk more about merchant fulfilled versus FBA and why Steve has such a benefit doing FBA over what I was doing. But I think for now, like just like a broad kind of like overview, like what is this thing? Like how does this work? Can you kind of like explain that?
Right. So some of the folks watching may know what buying and selling physical products are on like Amazon FBA. Some ways that people normally get products is they maybe go to a thrift store and they buy a book. Like I helped my mom to retire. She's been selling books on Amazon FBA for 8 years. She does 3 to 5 thousand a month, but it's a lot of work. She has to go to all the thrift stores. She brings all the books home and she labels them, ships them out to Amazon FBA, and then FBA does all the work. They pick it, package, ship it, customer service, returns. It's very, very automated. I've taken it to a whole nother level where I pretty much said, all right, I'm not driving, I'm not leaving the house. I'm literally just going to source everything off of eBay, have it show up at my door. And I've been posting a bunch of pictures on Instagram. The other day, I had like almost 150 items show up at my front door. The mailman, I could guarantee the mailman's going to keep a job for a very long time. Um, but yeah, 30,000 foot overview. We buy products on eBay, physical products. I specialize in, believe it or not, when we said weird, this is weird. I specialize in DVDs. In DVDs, I've sold over
That's
$20,000 just in DVDs over the last 30 days.
wait,
Yes,
wait,
and they
wait,
sell
wait.
very,
People are
I swear.
wait, but no, I don't even have a DVD player. I don't know anyone with one.
Well, if it's okay, in a few minutes, I'm going to actually share my screen and I'll
Okay.
literally show you proof and I'll share with you the tools that I'm using so people can start to replicate this and start getting results. But I sell DVDs. I sell a lot of old discontinued board games. I sell video games. I actually just sold, you ever heard of the game Crash Bandicoot?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just bought that was it PS2 or Xbox? I don't know, but it was an older game. It was like 10 plus years old. Sold it for
Crazy.
$120. I sourced it for
What?
50. Yeah, they and that's not even a lot. Like you would be shocked at what some of these games go for because you know what people are doing now since the pandemic, they're buying these brand new sealed games and then they're going getting them graded. So they'll buy it for 120, get it graded and then sell it for 300. I'm not that
Oh.
smart. I don't understand the whole grading process and whatnot. Um, Board games, books, DVDs, video games, electronics. One of my best friends, his name's Seth. He goes by the YouTube channel Checkmate Flips. He did over 55,000 in the last 30 days. He flips only electronics. My buddy Josiah, just to let you guys know, like I'm not the only one. My buddy Josiah, he lives in Alaska. He did $100,000 doing the eBay to Amazon method exactly. And I didn't teach him, so I'm not trying to take credit. Like he's ahead of me, but he uses a prep center. And what that essentially means is he buys everything, and instead of it coming to his house because you can't ship it all to Alaska, it'd be too expensive. He ships it to what's known as a prep center. It's a warehouse, and they're all over the country. They'll prep the items for you, and they'll ship it to Amazon. So that's really automated. I know that's a little bit high level, but I'm like freaking out because like this my goal is to hit 40K by the end of the year, but like there's so many opportunities with this right now. I'm just so blessed I don't have to rely on thrift stores. So
No more driving around for you. So you order them from eBay, they show up at your house, and then you log into Amazon, right, and create a shipment, put them all in a box. So instead of shipping out each individual item to each customer, all you have to do is put them into one box instead of to
yes, this is like
Amazon.
1,000 times better than eBay. On eBay, you have to list everything, store it at your house, take pictures. With this method, all I do is and I do it all one day a week. My girlfriend and I, we do it together. So we open up all the boxes, and then we just throw everything in a box. Usually, it's about 5 or 6 boxes because we ship out about 200 to 300 items a week. Takes us about an hour or two. We ship everything out. We have a virtual assistant who lists everything the night before for us. And we just put it in a box, tape it up, label everything, ship it to Amazon, and then they store it at their warehouse. And then when it sells, they pick it, package, ship it, deal with customer service, and we literally get paid. So it's it's a very interesting business model. I've been doing this business model for 8 years, like selling on Amazon FBA, but this eBay to Amazon, it's just been after my accident over the last year. So I mean, I literally went from 5 to 30K pretty quickly, and I'm a conservative guy, so it's exciting, man.
Yeah. When you told me on the phone about this, I was pretty excited about it. Because anything you could do from home, like why not, right?
Yeah, and that's what people are looking for now. They want to make money from home, but unfortunately, obviously you and I are doing it, and you've done the drop shipping, and I'm doing this. There's a lot of people who are trying to tell you to do these things from home, but they don't actually do it themselves. So
Yeah. No, that's definitely true. Okay, so why eBay? Like, there's so many places you could buy stuff online. Why eBay? Why only eBay? I guess it's a good question.
Yeah, well, it's really interesting. When it comes to eBay and Amazon, it's similar to, I don't know, I guess maybe Nike versus Adidas. That might not be the best example, but a lot of times Nike shoes will be more expensive than Adidas. Why? A lot of it comes down to brand. And the same is true with eBay versus Amazon. Items sell for less on eBay. There's not as many customers there, there's not as much supply and demand. Their algorithm isn't very sophisticated. Um, Let me put it in this way. A lot of items sell on eBay way less than Amazon FBA. Now, most items don't sell for enough of a gap for you to make a profit. But over the last year, I've literally dedicated my life to figuring out systems and softwares and all different types of processes to be able to literally figure out what are the items, where are the items that are undervalued, how can I get them, and I even have a lot of strategies to be able to make offers, to negotiate with sellers. There's a whole bunch of different things, but it all comes down to brand. On Amazon, people pay more for a couple of reasons. Number one, they think that they're buying from Amazon, and they are, but they don't understand that I'm a third party seller that's supplying it to Amazon. Number two, they have the Prime program. People want it now. They don't want to wait 4, 5, 6 days. They don't want to deal with Joe Schmo on eBay who's going to send the package out 7 days late. And then when you ask for a return, he's going to fight with you. On Amazon, there's hassle-free returns. You don't even have to print out a label to return an item. You just bring it to UPS. But it's mostly the 1 to 2 day shipping, and it's the trust that Amazon has built. So for those reasons alone, people pay a lot more on Amazon. And another example, you could go buy a purse from JCPenney for $40, but then you could go to Las Vegas and go into the Bellagio, into one of the malls, and pay 4,000 for a Chanel. I mean, obviously it's an extreme example, but the same thing plays true on various marketplaces.
Yeah, it's arbitrage. I mean, that's just there's things are worth different things in different locations. So you're taking advantage of that. Can you show us a little? You're going to share your screen and show something to us?
Yeah, yeah. Literally, like a couple of minutes before, speaking of car accidents, that I was saying, I was a little late to this call because my mom literally just called me and was like, "Someone sideswiped me," and I was like, "Oh my
Oh, you're kidding
gosh!"
me.
And literally, this is how easy it is. I'm not even kidding. I only had two. She's fine, so that's why I'm here,
Okay.
or else I wouldn't be here. But yeah, she's perfectly fine. But I literally had 2 minutes to prepare, so I went and I found two profitable items like that, and that's how quick it is. Okay, so literally, I am going to share my screen if that's okay. Let me see if I'm
Yeah,
sophisticated enough to
I think I have
do
to press a button
this.
here. So here, I'll get rid of my face. And there you are. Cool. It's all yours.
Awesome. Can you see my screen all right?
Yep.
All right. So I have a lot of different methods that I source items. There's a whole bunch. There's different softwares that I use. One of the softwares I use is Tactical Arbitrage. Another one is called FlipMine. There's a whole bunch of different softwares I use. Also, most of the items I source nowadays are off of what I call a leads list and a replens list. I actually have a mastermind that I'm going to be hosting next week, and I think you have some information you're going to share with your audience later on. So if folks are like, "Well, I want to know how to do this," I'll let you share with them how to get involved with that later on. But pretty much. There's a whole system, and it's actually really, really easy to be able to find items. And about 2 minutes before this video, I found this DVD right here. Okay. Now, this DVD is called the Roger Moore Collection. And this DVD is selling for $5.99 plus $8 shipping, which is actually a little expensive because they can ship this media mail for $4. So I could probably send Hoy Sauce a message and say, "Hey, do you mind reducing the shipping because this is media mail? It should really only be $4." So I know I could probably get that a little cheaper. There's also a make offer option here, which I could make an offer, but it's already so cheap. But let's just say I pay full price. So this is $6 plus what, 8. So that comes to about $14. One thing you always want to do is you want to inspect the item to make sure it's in good shape. And this looks really nice. It's new. It's sealed. You also want to take a look at the feedback. This person has 99.3% feedback, over 10,000 feedback. So you know this person is a reputable seller. And look, it says media mail is our default shipping. Well, why are you charging me $8? So I would send them a message. I would actually send them a message. I'm actually confident I get this for $4 shipping plus 6. So I'm going to just say this is only going to cost me 10 because they charge too much. It looks like it's in good condition. I don't see any issues. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look this up on Amazon to see how much it's selling for, and I'm going to break down how I analyze a deal. And I'm not even kidding. I'm only showing you DVDs now, new. You could sell used DVDs, new DVDs. You could sell used CDs, new CDs. You can sell board games, electronics, household items, routers. I'm not even kidding with you, Paul, when I tell you there are thousands and thousands and thousands of niches and sub niches. You can literally go down a rabbit hole till eternity finding different things. So, I had someone say the other day, well, you're teaching people how to do this. You have your upcoming masterclass. It's going to get saturated. I'm like, it's literally impossible. Literally impossible, unless there was like 17 million people who started doing this. But every day there's millions of new products being listed on eBay. So, all right, I'm going to go find the listing on Amazon, and here we go. You can see that this is the same listing. Roger Moore, Ultimate 007, James Bond, Volume 1. And you can see over here that the buy box on Amazon is $39.55. Now, what the buy box is and what that means is, who here has ever shopped on Amazon? I'm sure everybody's shopped on Amazon. When you go to Amazon, how do you buy an item? It's not like eBay. You're not going through and looking at all the prices. Typically, what the average person does is they just hit buy it now, right? Is that how you shop, Paul? You just hit buy it now and you're good to go, right? You're not going to sit there all day long.
I like pressing
Most
that
people
one
don't even
button.
know. Exactly. And I think that Amazon's actually like trademarked that, right? That's like, I don't know if trademark's the right word, but they like own the rights to like that whole one-click upsell thing. So if this item sells, it's going to sell for $39.55. Over 80 to 90% of sales on Amazon are going to be through the buy box, through the buy it now button. So when it comes to pricing items, you want to look at what the buy box is. So I'm very confident I could sell this for $39.55. And I have a simple little software that I use called SellerAmp that will share with me a bunch of information. This is selling about 4 times per month. And this is actually somewhat of a slower seller. It's not a really fast seller, but this will probably sell within a couple of weeks. I've actually sold quite a few of these DVDs in the past. It's got a 31,000 sales rank, which is essentially just telling me how quick it's going to sell. This sells about 4 times per month. And I know for a fact I could sell this for $39.55. But before I analyze how much profit I'm going to make, I want to take a look and see how many people are selling it. So it looks like there's a couple merchants at 38, and then the lowest offer is 39. That's amazing. You want to see the merchants and the FBA really, really close, because that's like the foundation of the pricing of the market. So I'm 100% certain I could get $39.55 on this listing. And what I also use is a chart Chrome extension called Keepa that will share with me the price range over a period of time. So if I scroll back over a year, I can see that this item is selling. You see that pink line, Paul, going from 40 down to 30, up to 42, down to 30. It fluctuates, but on average, you can see this is going to probably sell for $40. That's where the buy box has been sitting all year long. So now I have evidence and I have proof that this is going to sell for that much. The rank is 31,000. I see there's 4 sales a month. You could also verify that right here, 3.7 sales a month, so about 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in how much I'm going to pay for this item in this tool. How much is this costing? Was it 10?
Yeah.
$10, I think.
Oh,
If we
I
get
think
the
you said
shipping
like 12 or something, or 14.
Just call it. Let's just call it $14. Let's just say let's call it 15. Let's get crazy if you're going to pay tax. But you can actually become tax exempt on eBay. So I never pay tax. It's really easy. Check this out. This will probably sell in a couple weeks. $15 buy cost, sell it for $39.55. 90.33% ROI, $13.55 profit. And that's just not a pie in the sky. We literally have proof right there. How easy was that, man, to be able to analyze it?
And that's pretty incredible. Can I play devil's advocate for a second, real quick?
Please, man, ask away.
Yeah. So like I think there might be some people at home thinking, oh, it's $13.50, but I have to package it up, and I don't know how to do this. All that for just $13 profit. Like, what would you say to someone who kind of is thinking about it from that sort of mindset?
I would agree with their mindset if I was selling it on eBay, because on eBay, you have to store it at your house. You have to pick it. You have to package it one by one and then print out a label, then put it in a box, then drop it off at UPS or USPS. In that situation, I'd 100% agree. But with Amazon FBA, it's completely different. You don't ship things out one by one. I literally, I'm not even kidding. I could list and ship about 50 to 60 DVDs in about 30 minutes. So divide that. That's like 30 to 40 seconds per item once it comes in. Yeah, you got to open it up and inspect it. So add another minute to that. But it only takes literally per item, maybe 1 to 2 minutes to literally get it out the door. That's why this system works. If I had to store it at my house and ship it out like eBay, it's still worth it, but I wouldn't be that excited about it. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
No, that makes sense. And like you said, the volume. So I mean, 50 to 60 times 1350. I'm sure you're selling some with even higher profit. That's like $800,000 profit every time you ship out a box. And what really
Yeah.
jumps out to me is that ROI, 90%. I mean, it's like investing in the stock and getting 90% ROI. Like this just doesn't happen, right? But you could think of it that way, right? You're putting money in and your ROI is 90%. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen for any investments out there.
Exactly. And the thing with stocks are, yeah, it's really great long term, but like you're not really controlling it. There's all this insider trading going on. There's the economy, the market, what the Fed decides to do. With this, you can get a feel for like, here's another great tip. You can see how many people have been selling this, how many have been on the listing. So I could see 6, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8. I could see how many people are on the listing, and I could also see how many competitors I have. And when you're an FBA seller, you're only competing with FBA sellers because remember how I told you about this buy box, Paul?
Yep.
Guess what? Only FBA sellers typically get the buy box if there's an FBA offer on the listing. So that means this person, this person, this person, none of those people are our competitors. There's only two people that we're competing with right here. And the way the buy box works is it rotates equally. As long as you price competitively within about 2 to 3% of this buy box price, Paul might have the buy box today, then I might have the buy box tomorrow. So that's Amazon's way of being able to really help the community or share the sales amongst the sellers. And that's how Amazon's gotten so big. Amazon is the largest e-commerce platform in the world, not because they've been so great at finding suppliers. They've been so great at rewarding people like myself to send them all the inventory.
We do the work for them and make some money in the process.
Can I share with you another one?
Oh, please. Yeah. Then we got some
So,
questions.
okay. Do you want me to answer some questions first? Do you want me to get into another one?
Yeah, actually, if you might don't mind answering this one because this kind of relates to what you're just talking about with the buy box. Someone wants to know if you use a repricer, and maybe you could talk about that
Yes.
real quick and how that relates to the buy box.
Yes. So funny enough, I was manually repricing about 3 months ago. Like this whole year, I was just manually repricing because I'm actually, you might not know, but I grew up in a Jewish family. I'm like ridiculously cheap and conservative. Like I watch every penny, I know my numbers. And I was like, I'll just pay my virtual assistant $2.50 an hour instead of paying, 150 a month for a repricer. And then I have to learn the repricer and all this and that. But believe it or not, I set up a repricer. What was it about 3 months ago? I documented it on my YouTube channel, and I'm not even kidding. I used a repricer called Be Cool. I made an additional $10,000 in sales, or it might have been 8,000. I don't know. You can fact check me on my channel, somewhere around there. It was a lot of money just by implementing a repricer. Because what a repricer will actually do is it'll change the price multiple times a day to kind of mess with the algorithm and compete with other sellers to get the buy box. And yeah, that's a really good question. I'm a huge believer in having a repricer now. I would never go back to not having one. It is sometimes a little sophisticated to set up, depending on which one you use. But if anyone wants to set one up, I would check out Be Cool, and you're always welcome to send me a DM, and I could send you some free resources. But yeah, that helped me get the buy box way more. And I also have a ton of rules set up. So this is really cool. I have a rule set up, Paul, that if my inventory gets older than 30 days, then my ROI will automatically drop from 50 down to 40%. And then if it is there for more than 2 months, then it drops from 40 down to 30%. Because honestly, a lot of times I'm getting 50 to 60 to 70% ROI within a couple of weeks. And like that's my my breadwinner right there. But the name of this game is to turn your inventory. You could still make a lot of money if it sits for 2 or 3 months, but I'm in the quick flip game, and I want to make my 8, 9, 10, 12, $14, get my money back and deploy the soldiers out in the forms of other products.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I've used those repricers when I was drop shipping on Amazon, and they're critical. You need them. So great, great advice. What do you got on screen now?
Awesome. Yeah, so unfortunately, it was so funny. This was available for sale, and I clicked on it. I was like, oh, maybe I'll buy it live. But it sold while we were waiting. So somebody already bought it. It was probably another reseller. But this is another DVD. I just went into DVDs really quick, and I found a couple. But this DVD was for sale for $34.99 plus 416. So it came to about $40. This is a really great DVD set to be on the lookout for. This Rick Steves series. He actually goes around the world and travels, and he's kind of like a travel guide in a sense. This is brand new sealed. You can sell used DVDs as well. I just find that new ones really sell for a premium. So this was for sale for $40, and I went on Amazon to check out. Can you tell me what the buy box is, Paul?
$103.90. Dang.
I've sold this DVD like 20 times in the past, so I know for a fact that's how I was able to pick it so quick because I knew it. I sold it, and that's the beauty about this business. In my masterclass that's coming up next week, I teach exactly how to use different softwares, and they're actually really inexpensive softwares. I teach a lot of different methods to be able to source, but the real lifeblood of this business is data. The more items you sell over a period of time, you build up a what I like to call a replenishable list. I have over actually at the time of this recording over 3,500 items that are on my replens list, and all my virtual assistants do. They work 50 hours a week each. They just go through the list and they go through our softwares and they just buy. And we already know what it's going to sell for. We know what our profit margins are. Of course, sometimes things change, and that's why I have the repricer in line. But this one right here cost $40. You can see the buy box is at 103, which we're going to verify if we can really sell this for that much. If it does sell for 103, which I've actually sold this before, so I know it has potential to. I'll get into that. This would make $42 profit, 106% ROI right here. And what I'm going to do to verify this is take a look at the market. So this is actually a little bit sketchy as I look at it. There's a couple things I don't like right here. I know I can still get this price eventually, but what's actually happened here, and this happens quite often, is you'll get new sellers who come into the market and they price like, I don't know, what's a nice word to call somebody? A newbie. They price like newbies. They, like, look at the market right here. The market was down at $70 for the merchants. Why are you coming in at $45? You're literally just pricing it to lose. Like, there's no point in pricing it that low. Here's the market. So what's going to happen is, Paul, these guys are going to sell out. First of all, they're merchant sellers. So if you're in the prime program, you're not going to buy from these merchants because they're going to ship 5, 7, 10, 12 days later, provide horrible customer service. The lowest FBA offer is actually $104.90. But what I don't like about it, I don't like when there's a lot of low merchants because sometimes it plays around with the buy box where Amazon won't give you the buy box, but it is probably because it's sold for this price for so long. Long story short, this will definitely sell for $103. Might take a month or so. But yeah, I'm fairly confident in that. And we could back that up by looking at what is known as a Keepa chart. This will break down the history of that specific product. In other words, it's an ASIN, it's a product on Amazon for sale. And we can take a look over the last year to see, has Amazon been on the listing? No. What's the new prices been at? What's the used prices been at? What's the buy box been at? So you can see the buy box has really been fluctuating. So you can see this buy box in November. Look at this. It was up at 110, $120. Then it fluctuated down after Christmas time all the way down to about 80. And then it really came down around March and May, sitting around 75. And then it's slowly creeping back up. The reason I'm confident about getting 100 right now is we're in Q4. And I know this is a stocking stuffer because there's people who love to travel and stuff. So yeah, that's all I got for examples now. I could go on for the next 6 hours and show you example after example, but I just wanted to show you kind of how I analyze items. And it's really easy. All I do is I place the order on eBay. A couple tips: become tax exempt so you don't pay tax. It's really easy. Just upload your reseller certificate. use a credit card responsibly. I save 2% back on all purchases, and use a cashback portal, Rakuten or Top Cashback, or Be Frugal is what I like to use. And I end up saving about 10% bottom line with that. Get shipped to my house, get a whole bunch of things opened at once, label them, throw them in a box. UPS picks it up through pirate ship. Bada bing, bada boom. The profits are coming.
I love it. And what I think is really cool about that is that, a lot of people are afraid of competition, but on this listing, you could see someone's selling it for like less than half of what most other sellers are selling it for. And Amazon's still giving the buy box to someone at over $100 because they know that's where it should be priced. They know that the people down there, they're noobs. They probably don't know what they're doing. Like Amazon, they're smart. They're giving it to the good sellers, and you could be one of those good sellers, and you don't have to worry so much about competition in situations like that, right?
Absolutely. It's so true. And if Amazon really didn't like the price of this item, they would actually suppress the buy box. So what that means is they would actually give nobody the buy box, and that's their way of slapping all the sellers and saying, "Get your ish in line, because if you don't start pricing it the way we want, nobody gets the buy box," which means customers are actually going to have a poor experience. They're going to have to go in and manually search through all these items to find the one they want. So
Mm.
as long as that buy box is being given to the seller, even though, because I didn't like that the prices were so low, but by the buy box being there, that definitely gives me confidence. And even more, knowing that I've sold it before gives me more confidence. So, in this game, it's a little bit challenging at first. If you are doing everything manually, and if you don't have a leads list and you don't understand how to use the softwares. But yeah, hopefully this video is helping.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. We have some questions. I want to get to those, but you mentioned a couple of times about your masterclass. Do you want to explain a little bit more about what that is and the opportunity for people there?
Yeah, so I actually just created this idea literally a couple weeks ago, because what I've been doing is I've been working with a small group of students, about 10 at a time, and uh, I've charged anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 to work with students hands-on, and you've seen a little bit behind the scenes. You know how intense it is, and a lot of people wanted help with this, but obviously they didn't have that much money. So I decided to come up with a master class and really be able to put everything in bite-sized pieces. So I walk everybody through in this master class. It's over. Actually, it's on pre-sale early bird now, so it's coming out October 10th. But at the time, right now, I'm already over 4 hours of pre-recorded content. So I have content literally showing you how to use all the softwares, how to source items, how to analyze items, how to work with all these different softwares from Flipmine to Seller Amp, how to get tax exempt, how to essentially just go through the whole entire process. So there's the pre-recorded part of the masterclass, but then there's also a live portion, which is going to be going down a couple weeks after October 10th, where I'm going to connect the dots, do some more deeper training. But yeah, I mean, I'm making a little over 10,000 a month profit. So this is literally for anyone who's serious about this. I can tell you right now, this is probably one of the best deals that you're ever going to see, because I'm actually doing this and it works. And a lot of people online who share, different systems and stuff, a lot of times they're not even making money from it. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to help a lot of people out with this.
Yeah, Steve, guys, if you don't know him, I'm sure most of you have heard of him, but he's the real deal. He's all about helping people. He practices what he preaches. I've gotten to look at some of the training he's putting together, and it's just phenomenal. Tons of content, really in depth. Some of the more secret sauce kind of stuff, if you want to call it that, and just well packaged. It's a great program. I'm kind of mad at you a little bit. I think you're underselling yourself. I think it's just like a ton of
I know I
value.
am.
Yeah, ton of value for how
I
much you're
got yelled
charging.
at. I literally got yelled at by my mentor yesterday on a call for 45 minutes, saying, "You have to have more confidence in yourself." Da 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 da. I'm like, listen, like, I'm in the business of making money with my Amazon business. If I can help some people and make some money at the same time with a master class and make it a win-win, I'm good. Like, I'm not. It's just not my business, right? If I can help 100, 200 people, like, I'm super happy. So uh, I could guarantee people, if they go through and apply this right now, it is really, really freaking amazing. I've even got my mom doing it now too. So
Oh, nice, cool. That
268,
way she doesn't have
268.
to get sideswiped either.
Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
crazy world. So anyway, that masterclass, I'll have my affiliate link for it down in the description. If you guys want to check it out, you can go to that page and find out more information about it. See if it's a good fit for you. But yeah, that's the whole opportunity, right? Anything else to say about it?
Man, it's very in depth. It walks you through all the steps. I don't hold anything back, right? I've gone through programs in the past because I don't just, I go through. I spent over $20,000 last year just investing in personal development and coaching and different things. There's a lot of coaching that kind of leaves you like, well, what are you going to do? What's the next step? And that's what I always respected about your drop shipping programs is it's very, very methodical and step by step. It's probably the lawyer in you, right?
Yeah.
um, but that's what I always liked about your programs, right? It walks you through the whole process, and that's pretty much what it is. This isn't for everybody, right? Some people don't want to deal with physical products. Some people just want to drop ship it, and that's perfectly fine, right? Either way, I'm still here to help you guys. You can send me a DM, message me. But yeah, I just wanted to share this with you, Paul, because I know you're always looking at different opportunities to
Oh
make
yeah.
money, and we'll see, man. I'm excited for 2023. I haven't set my goals yet for the new year, but the main goal this year was 40K a month. I want to get to 40K a month. Once I get there, I'm going to reassess. A couple of my friends are double, triple where I am. So we'll see. Maybe I'll be going for six figures a month. I don't know yet, but it's crazy. Like the biggest issue in this business is like you just like I could scale even faster, but like I'm spending my monthly goals like super duper quick. Like I have spend goals every single week, every single month, and we just spend the money so quick. So it's just it's a capital intensive business, but you could start with 20, 30, $40. That's the thing. You don't need a lot of money. You can just start by buying one item a week, and then you can go two items a week. And a month, you can go like 10 items a month, and then the next month go 30 and 50 and 100, right? My mom, she's doing 150th of what I'm doing, but you can do this slow. Like, and I actually recommend people as well, like maybe you're drop shipping right now, or maybe you're going to thrift stores and you're selling maybe $1,000 a month and you're working your butt off. Just start implementing this on the side. Start buying a couple of items, because just like you see on my screen, I mean, an item like this could put $40 in your pocket. The other one right here can put what, like 10, $12 in your pocket. I mean, even if you do 10, 20, 30 of these, just a shipment a month, that could bring in an extra $300, $400. So in this game, Paul, it's probably similar to drop shipping, right? Like the more items you list, the more money you make, considering they're like profitable and they sell. This is the same game. The more you buy, the more money you make, but you have to make sure it's so imperative. And again, that's why I made this masterclass, because I'm really going to hit you guys over the head with how to do this. You have to understand SellerAmp. You have to understand Keepa. Anybody go to eBay and buy items, but if you're not buying items that have a really strong ROI, if you don't understand how many they're selling per month, if you don't understand how to ship in items to Amazon, if you don't understand all the processes, you're going to lose money. So you got to buy items that are quick sellers, that have a good profit, and you've got to keep buying more and more items. So, is that how it works in drop shipping as well for you, Paul? The more items you typically list, the more you make, considering they have a good sell through rate?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just we call it like feeding the beast, right? Just got to put more
Yeah.
into the system. And I've no doubt that you're going to hit the 40K by the end of the year because we're barely into quarter four. I think now is actually a great time to start any e-commerce, especially one that's so easy to start up. Like it doesn't require like a ton of capital like private label FBA does. Like you were saying, you could literally just get started today, buy a couple of items and just kind of like test the water, put your toes in, don't have to rush into it. But now is a good time to start actually, because you get that velocity of quarter four helping you along.
Yeah, and another great opportunity for everyone to look at as well is Facebook Marketplace. It wasn't too long ago they opened up the whole marketplace to shipping and all that, and that is last year. I've got my fingers crossed. I'm going to share a little tip with you guys. Keep an eye out on Facebook Marketplace with this method in the next couple months, because they offered free shipping. Do you remember that last year when they did that, Paul? They offered free
Yes.
shipping. They were literally paying for people's shipping. I absolutely killed it with board games, because board games are expensive to ship, 15, $20. But Facebook was paying the sellers for the shipping and giving me free shipping. It was amazing. Did so well with DVDs, even though the shipping wasn't that expensive, with board games, with bigger electronics. Facebook Marketplace, Mercari. If you learn the skill of how to do this on eBay, it translates over to all different types of websites. And yeah, I'm super pumped up for it, man. Like I said, I haven't set my 2023 goals yet, but I'm excited. There's a lot of deals out there.
I'm excited too. I'm going through the masterclass as it's happening, so I'm excited. It's probably going to be one of my goals next year too. If you guys want to join up, again, that link is down below. Steve, I had a question for you because you said something interesting, and someone else asked about this actually. You said, hey, if maybe this isn't for you, if you don't want to touch or handle the inventory yourself, but correct me if I'm wrong, there actually is a way to do this without handling inventory yourself, right?
Yeah, you can use a prep center. It's a bit more sophisticated, takes a couple more systems and whatnot, but it's definitely manageable. So yeah, I misspoke a little bit, but I don't personally use one, and the reason I don't use one, all my friends do. Every single one of my friends who are making more money, that maybe that's why I'm not making as much money as them. But for me, like I like to be able to, maybe it's the thrifter inside of me. Maybe it's like the treasure hunter. I don't know. Maybe it's I want to touch the products, right? But I want to see it. I want to touch it. I want to inspect it. When you have a prep center, you have to find a really good prep center. It's similar to real estate. You hear a lot of people saying, don't get into real estate. Don't be a landlord. I had a management company and they screwed me over. It's so true. Real estate can be an absolute nightmare if you have the wrong management company. I have real estate properties. And I spent a ton of time finding the right management company, and it's been smooth sailing. And I've heard the same thing paralleling over to prep centers. If you don't want to touch the products and you want it to be more of like a drop shipper feel, you can absolutely get a prep center, but just make sure you really put in the work to interview them, to make sure they're going to inspect your items, to figure out what systems they have in place for listing and doing everything on your behalf. But yeah, if anyone's interested in that, reach out to me, send me a DM, and I could connect you with some people and some different prep centers. But I just don't personally use one, probably because I'm just a bit more conservative, or I don't know, maybe it's the thrifter inside of me. I don't know.
Well, what I like about you, Steve, is there are other people doing this at such high volume. Some of them have their own warehouses where they prep their items. They have like 10 credit cards, each with $250,000 in credit. It's like a whole
Crazy.
operation. It's overwhelming. But I see you. You're just. I mean, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. You're just a regular guy, and you're doing this.
I,
You have a lot of other things going on in your life, and you're still making this work.
Yeah, I just like to keep things simple. I like to give them simple. I just like to, 1 + 1 = 2. I just want the items to show up. I just want to unbox them and just ship them out, right? I'm not trying to make millions and millions of dollars from this, but there are people, there's 20, 23, 24-year-olds making 100, 200K a month. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? Miles and Fields of Profit and all these guys. Like, it's crazy how many different opportunities there are. The thing is, there's a lot of online arbitrage opportunities out there doing the whole Nike, Lego, Adidas. The thing with those opportunities that I don't necessarily like, and they're still very profitable, right? I might even get into them down the road. But what I like about eBay to Amazon is you can get items much cheaper. There's much less competition and there's much less price tanking. What price tanking is when you get on a listing, and can you still see my screen? I'm not sure if you can still
I
see my
can't see it
screen, but
anymore.
it's all right. But like that James Bond was at $40 and I was super confident. Well, what if like 10 sellers come in because Target's clearancing it out and then it drops down to 15? That happens all the time with Nike and Lego and Adidas and different things. You know, with the way that I do it, I'm going after discontinued items. Amazon's never on the listing. My average buy cost is 15 and my average sell cost is $40. So there's a lot of profit margin in there. I'm not having to fight against Amazon stealing the buy box. I'm not having to fight with 50 other sellers. It's usually me and like 3 or 4 other sellers rotating. And of course, it varies based on the niche, right? I'm good with about 4 categories. All the other ones could pretty much be worthless. But you don't need to be good in all the categories. Get good at 1 or 2 categories, you can make a 6-figure income. I'm already doing it. I've done $200,000 with this method over the last 12 months. And half the time, I didn't even know 90% of the stuff that I've learned this year. Literally, I've gotten so good at this, not because I'm so smart, because I've made every goddamn mistake in the book. I've I literally used to. I'm not even kidding. I would go to the eBay newly listed. I would pull up my Amazon seller app and I would be scanning each item to find which one is profitable for
That's such a
eight to
hack.
12 hours a day. For 8 to 12 hours a day. And this was about 9 months ago. I hired a virtual assistant to do it for me. And she was working for me 50 hours a week doing it. And within a week, she literally ghosted me because that's how bad I was running that business. Like, so I'm just trying to prove like you can start being a complete idiot and you can build this business quickly if you learn the right strategies. And literally in the masterclass, that's what I'm going to be sharing. Literally everything that you should not do and the very few things that will speed up the process that much quicker. And again, you don't have to do this to build a six-figure business. Start slow. I actually recommend to all my students, start slow. It's not a race. I know everybody wants to be all cool and get a freaking Bugatti and everything, but like let's start slow. Let's make your first $100, then we'll make your first 1,000, and let's build a business that's going to make you 4, 5, 6, 8, 10,000 a month sustainably for the next 10, 15 years. Let's not scale this thing up and get kicked off. So that's just me. That's my personality. That's my teaching style. So
Well, we appreciate the honesty about all the mistakes you've made. It's very refreshing. Most people don't admit to that, but it's important
oh,
to
yeah.
hear because then we know that you know what to avoid. Um, Question here: if you can't answer this, I think I can answer this. P wants to know why don't you just drop ship on Amazon and do it merchant fulfilled and drop ship?
Um,
Do you want your take, and maybe I'll give
I'm a
my take?
reseller I'm a reseller at heart. It's like it's just who I am. Like that's what I've been doing. Like I'm a thrifter. Like that's what I enjoy to do. I like seeing the products. It's what I understand. That's what I've been doing the last 8 or 9 years. So I'm not sure. What's your take on that, Paul?
So I used to drop ship on Amazon, and this is the first time I'm admitting this on this channel. I'm dabbling in what Steve's teaching today. I've dabbled in it.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
We got a little troublemaker
I
going
didn't want
on.
to talk about it because I'm not ready to show my numbers. It's basically like what Steve said. I bought some as like a test and said, "Hey, does this work?" And then I sent it in. I just waited. I didn't buy anything else until I saw what happened. And if you look at my Amazon numbers, it goes up and then down because I sold everything and then sold out and is waiting for me to send in more stuff. So I'm dabbling in it. I'm enjoying it, and I'll be talking more about that in the future. So I have experience
That's
doing.
exciting, man.
Yeah, I know. Pretty excited for it. Definitely be a goal for next year, and that's why I'm mostly excited for your class, so I can learn how to do this. um,
Dude, to interrupt you real quick, you literally, and this is what I teach in the master class as well. And I share this on my YouTube channel too. Like everyone, if you sell out of something, go look on eBay and go try to find it. Go look on Facebook Marketplace. That's the easiest way to replenish your inventory. Depending on what you're buying, though, Paul, if it's like super hot, fast seller, like you're probably not going to find it. But yeah, keep going, man. Sorry for
yeah,
interrupting you.
what I'm most interested in that you're going to teach is like the systems, the virtual assistants, the software, and how to kind of get that all so it's more outsourced. Because we're all busy people, so it'd be
Yeah.
great to do that.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but anyway, comparing what we're doing now, what we're talking about today with drop shipping, I was drop shipping on Amazon for a while, and it worked really well. But one of the biggest problems with it is that you have to do merchant fulfilled. The difference between merchant fulfilled and FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon, is basically
Yep.
if it's merchant fulfilled, you have the items in your house and you're going to ship them from your house directly to the customer. Or as drop shippers, our suppliers shipping it directly to our customers. With Amazon FBA, you send it to Amazon first, then Amazon handles fulfillment. Now, the problem with merchant fulfilled is that Amazon is so stupid strict with their metrics. So if you get even one complaint from a customer, it really hurts your account. And you can manage that, but it is such a headache. I made a video last year talking about why I quit Amazon, and that was the main reason. They're just making it so hard for anyone who's doing merchant fulfilled. And that included us dropshippers. So being able to send in the items, if anything goes wrong after that point, Amazon takes the blame for it, and it's not on you. So it's a huge relief when I log into my Amazon account and see I have nothing to do. I have no messages. I have no like items to ship out, and just like a couple of returns here or there, which aren't a big deal either. So it's just a big relief, honestly.
You know, you know what Amazon is forcing us to do, and they're so smart. They deal with all the fulfillment. They deal with all the customer service. That's the most time-consuming stuff when it came to drop shipping. They're forcing us to focus on the most important thing in business, which is find inventory at a good price that you can flip. And Amazon deals with all that. They're a conversion machine. You don't have to pay, like in my business, dude, I don't pay any ads. I'm not doing any PPC campaigns or running Facebook ads or any of that. Amazon is a sales conversion beast. You feed that beast, okay? You got to go out into the jungle and you got to go get something good and you got to bring it back and give it to Amazon. And it's just the thing I love about selling on Amazon is there's no guessing. On eBay, yeah, you can check the sold listings, but outside of that, you don't really have much data. On Amazon, I can see the sales rank, I can see the monthly sales, I can see the sales history using Keepa. I mean, it's not like the stock market. It's 100% different. You have so much control. It is great. Like if you lose money on Amazon, it's 100% your fault every single time. If you lose money on eBay, it's not always your fault because you don't have all the data.
Yeah, that's a really good point. One thing that worried me before I started doing this was that I felt like there's so many moving parts. I was like I have to create my own shipments. I have to send them into Amazon. Like how do I even box up items? But the really cool thing is, just like you said, like once you figure that stuff out, and after I send in my first shipment to Amazon, it's like it just do it over again. It's so easy. Like everything, every part of this system is easy once you do it once. The only thing, like Steve said, the only thing you have to focus on and get better at is finding items. Like that is it. Everything else is easy. So it's really cool.
Yeah, man, it's awesome, man. I wish I got into this sooner, but hey, better now than never, right?
Yeah, that's how I feel. How do you think I feel? um,
Hey, I saw a comment that if you don't mind me addressing,
sure,
because
of
this is a
course.
comment I see all the time. Someone had mentioned, like, I can't believe you guys are still selling with all the high fees. And let me ask you a question. Would you rather sell on eBay and maybe the fees on eBay are like what, 13% or so, and on Amazon it's like 35%. It's way higher. But let me ask you a question. Would you rather sell I don't know, let's just pretend like we're selling this thing and this thing sells on eBay for maybe, I don't know, maybe you'll make $8 profit at the end of the day after shipping and everything, right? But fees are 13%. But what if I sell this on Amazon and I make $20 profit, but the fees are 35%? After all said and done, I make $20 on Amazon or $12 on eBay, but the fees are way lower on eBay. Where are you going to sell it? Do you want to make more profit or do you want to pay? Like, what would you do, Paul?
Give me the money. Give me the 20
Yeah,
bucks.
you want to make more profit. I don't give a damn how much fees. Like, obviously, nobody wants to pay high fees. All I care about, just like I was sharing with you, when I showed you my exact recipe for how I analyze, break down, and see my profit. All I care about is my return on investment, my profit, and how long it's going to take to sell. How long is it going to take for me to make my money? Because there is money that I have to put up. This is one of the biggest differences amongst drop shipping, and I guess you could call this a downside, but I think there's a lot of upsides to physical products versus drop shipping. But one of the downsides to doing what I do versus drop shipping is you do have to invest money up front into every product. Whereas with drop shipping, you're just listing it and then you don't even buy it until you get the money, right? So that's the downside. But if you use the data correctly, and like I'm going to teach in a masterclass, you're literally investing money, but you've got data points to know you're going to get it back very, very quickly. So I forgot where I was going with that, but hopefully you got the
Yeah, you're
gist
talking
of
about the
it.
fees and why the fees don't matter.
Yeah, yeah. Who cares what the fees are? Like at the end of the day, I don't care what the fees are for anything. All I care about is do I get a nice return on my investment? And does it come back in a timely manner? Is it going to beat the stock market? And is it going to beat putting my money into a rental property? That's all I care about. And it beats it every single day. But obviously, there's more work than just passive income with real estate. But real estate takes, 50 grand to put down.
Yeah. I always like to think about what you get for those fees, because what you're getting is access to the largest marketplace in the world. And normally, to get traffic, like if you were to build your own website and sell products there, you would have to pay for ads up front. And when you do that, there's no guarantee that anyone will actually buy anything from you. But with this model, Amazon doesn't take their fee until the item is already sold, or like as the item sells. So that cost is built in to the price of the item, and everyone else is paying the same fee. So everyone else has to account for the percentage that Amazon takes anyway. So we're all marking up our items enough to cover that fee as well.
Yeah, what I like to share with a lot of my viewers on YouTube and my students that I coach is what we should really be concerned with is how much money we're making per hour. Because, it's really important. If you're making $20 per hour on average, if you average it all out, like, let's see how we can get to 30 an hour. Let's see how we get to 40 an hour. And that's what Amazon FBA allows. It allows you to raise your hourly rate because all you have to do is just find the inventory, throw it in a box, and ship it to them. Super duper quick, 100 times faster than eBay. Then they do everything else. So then I could focus on what Amazon FBA really is doing is they're training us little worker bees, right, to work on our business instead of be stuck in our business. Because how do most entrepreneurs get stuck in their business? They're doing everything. They're writing all the blog posts, they're listing all the items, they're doing the customer service, they're listing, they're picking, they're shipping, they're doing bookkeeping and taxes. And there's so much that we have to do as a business owner, but you're paying a higher fee to literally get access to their warehouses, to all their insurance they're paying, to their shipping, to their employees, to everything. So that's the most powerful part about this. You actually are able to build a business. Everyone wants to make money, but nobody wants to work. Like, obviously you have to work with this business, but you could set things up to work a lot less and raise your hourly rate because you're taking advantage of the system. That's what it is. Amazon FBA is a system that you get to take advantage of.
Yeah.
You pay for it, but it works.
It's worth it. How much time do you got left? We got a few more questions. You have time.
Sure, yeah, keep asking, man. I still got some coffee here, so I'm going,
okay.
man.
Are you ready for some hard questions?
Oh, man. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so first one, Santos says, did you run a background check on this guy? How do we know if he's legit? And how do we know you're legit? So what I'll offer up to you guys. You want me to answer this because I'm a lawyer?
I was going to say you're a lawyer, so you could probably easily run a background check.
That's true. That's true. Well, I've met Steve in person. I know he's good. I've run his credit before. He's got good credit. No.
Why did you ran my credit?
No, I'm just kidding around. Just kidding around.
You're solid.
But seriously, guys, on that website, I think it has some screenshots, right, of sales and stuff. All the time. You're posting on Instagram your sales. So and you have like
that's the first video in the Masterclass. I go into my Amazon account and just show it all.
Okay, cool. And
yeah.
Check him out on Instagram. I mean, he's posting every day. He's the real deal. You'll see he's always running around. He used to run around at thrift stores all the time. Maybe it's just pictures of him on his couch now on his laptop. But sourcing from home.
Yeah, I have put on like 20 pounds in the last year, and I blame a lot of it on me not having to go out and thrift anymore. I'm like in hibernation right now. I'm getting comfortable, so who knows?
It's getting chilly outside. Okay, but a serious question now. What about IP issues from this model? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So yeah, it's funny. I was actually shooting videos of the Masterclass before this, and I did a whole module on this, so it's really fresh. This is really, really important. For anyone who sells on Amazon, regardless of the eBay to Amazon method, anyone who sells on Amazon, wholesale, private label, thrifting, you have to know what IP complaints are. These are intellectual property complaints. So it's kind of unfair, but it's just the reality. There are hundreds and thousands of products and brands out there, and there are brands who sell their products on Amazon. If you jump on a listing with a brand who is selling it on Amazon, they're probably going to hit you with an IP complaint, and they'll lie to you. So they're so scammy, the things these companies do. So the lesson learned is avoid ever listing an item that's known to have IP complaints. Now, there's a couple ways that you can tell if a listing is going to give you an IP complaint. I use a software called IP Alert, which will warn me if there's known complaints, and that's crowdsourced data, so it's very accurate. My buddy owns the company, and he literally gets IP complaints all the time on his account to test everything that people are putting into the system. Yeah, he has multiple accounts. But anyways, also I use Keepa. And what I do is I look at the number of sellers on a listing. And if you see like 8 or 9 sellers on the listing, and then boom, it drops down to 1. And then a week or 2 goes by and it lifts up to 7 or 8, and then boom, drops down to 1. That's an IP sweep. So every single time before I buy an item, list an item, or ship an item, I'm always going through the checks to make sure I'm not going to get an IP complaint. So that's a great question.
Awesome. So I know someone was asking something about Vero products. Vero's more eBay. So it's kind of the same thing for Amazon, kind of their equivalent of it in a way. Ben wants to
Yeah, you just
know.
have to make sure.
Go for it. What were you saying?
Oh, sorry to cut you off. I was going to say certain products are gated, which means you can't sell them. Like DVDs, like the average person's not going to be able to sell it unless you get ungated. Um, Anyone who wants to get ungated with DVDs, just send me a DVD. Send me a DVD. Send me a DVD, and I'll get you ungated in DVDs. No, send me a DM, and I'll send you a free resource to get ungated. But it's really easy.
That's a good point because that's another barrier. Most people hit that barrier and they don't know what to do and they just say, "Okay, I'm not going to sell DVDs." But if you know how to do it, and Steve's willing to show you how to do it, and other categories as well, then you're unlocking a whole category or brand that other people can't sell, and you're able to sell. I mean, that's the definition kind of a monopoly in a way. Obviously, you won't be the only one, but you're at such a huge advantage if you're able to sell those.
Yeah. Yep. True.
All right, we're at an hour. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Let me see if there's just any last questions here that seem really important. Um, there's a lot of good questions, so I might have to get you back on here for a follow up sometime.
Anytime, man. I love talking about this, man. I live, breathe, eat, flipping from eBay to Amazon, man. So
Cool.
it's fun. I recommend everybody, regardless if you go through the Masterclass or you just watch free videos or whatnot, start learning about how to sell on Amazon FBA, right? Even if it's starting from thrift stores. I love, again, the eBay to Amazon because I don't have to leave the house. It comes directly to me. The profit margins are high. I can pick items that flip very, very quickly. But regardless, start learning about this. This is a really good opportunity. I've been, doing online businesses for 9 years, and very seldomly do I get excited, just because I've gone through so many different things. And this last year has been really, really exciting. And yeah, I'm really pumped up to help a lot of people, man. So, and I'm excited too, Paul, man. Anything you need, man, I'm excited. Dude, I can't believe it, man. I finally got you over. So I'm pumped to see where you take things, man. You're one of the smartest, most hardworking guys that I've met. And I've always really respected how you're able to just take an idea and maybe something you don't know, or like even when YouTube, I remember you started YouTube, man, you just ran with it, right? And I remember when I met you way back at the Woodstock Fruit Festival, man, you had no idea you weren't even drop shipping back then, were you?
No, no. I kind of laughed at you. I was like, this guy thinks he's gonna make money selling stuff from thrift
Yeah,
stores on
you thought
eBay,
I was
making
like a
YouTube videos
scammer
about
or
it.
something. I was
Yeah.
like, whatever, dude. Go have fun in New York City being a lawyer. I'm just kidding. You didn't even pass the bar exam. No, no.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, I love opportunities like this. Just ones that are like simple enough that you can test it without like a huge investment, right? Like if I'm able to like test it, buy some products, ship them in, and verify that it works for me, I'm like, damn, that's great because now I
That's
haven't
it.
invested $5,000 into something and then suddenly find out, oh no, this doesn't work. Like I'm being kind of screwed here, putting all my money into this, or I messed something up. Like it's great. You could just spend $50 on a couple of products, ship them in, and just see if it works for you. And if it does, all right, let's spend a little more next time and a little more next time. Like you just kind of tiptoe walk into this at your own pace, which is really, really cool. I love businesses like that.
Yeah, man. Test, just like you said, I know not to drag it on anymore. I could talk about this all day, but that's one of the things that I always recommend to people. Test buys, test buys, test buys. Just buy one. In my business, man, we usually buy one or two of everything. Me going deep is getting like three or four. Like I just buy
Yeah.
one, and when it sells, I source it again off eBay and replenish it. So that's all I do. There's like very, very, very little risk with this business if you learn the right way to do it, which I really like. It doesn't take a lot of money, doesn't take a lot of time, doesn't take thousands of dollars, doesn't take having to reach out to suppliers and getting warehouses and doing all these crazy things. Man, I've been down the block with all these things. This is super duper easy. So again, I would just start it on the side, start slow, and really within a couple months, you could build this thing up to something significant. So hope that I could be able to help. And if you need me back on the channel again, man, I'd love to come share some value, man. Your people are always super cool.
Definitely will. All right, guys, that's it for today. Remember, down in descriptions, a link to the masterclass. I'll be joining it, or I've already joined it. I'll be watching all the videos and going through it myself. So hope to see a lot of you guys inside there. Bye, everyone. Thanks for
Appreciate you
hanging out.
guys. Bye.